guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So, this video has kind of been on my mind, percolating a little bit. It's really not game-related, movie-related, or anything else like that. It's a little more just life-related. Sorry about that. Got some kind of email or notification. I ended up watching my buddy Dean's video yesterday, Vinny Corleone 62. He does the Escape to Gaming show, and he sort of lit a fire under me again, and what was on my mind and what I wanted to talk about sort of came back to the surface. So it's, you know what, it might be a good time. It sort of has a correlation with Dean's video, and it's just on my mind. So I just find it really interesting and this is just, I guess, getting older. I'm not old, but getting older. You know, I'm not 18 anymore either. I'm 34 now. And also the internet, and social media being a very big part of everyone's life. Everyone's first response is, oh, get to me on Facebook, or hit me up on Twitter, or do this or do that. It's never call me. There's usually the voice stuff is sort of gone. I mean, some people do Skype and call one another, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be. So I just find it interesting how you get older, you see your friends less and less, and this isn't a knock to my friends, it's just the way things work, You get busy, you're working, people are having kids, people are getting married, and you see each other less and less. You keep in touch a little less and less until there becomes almost like a little bit of a disassociation. And when you do keep in touch, it's either texting or Facebook Messenger or a message on Twitter or something like that. It's never usually something with heft. I mean, sometimes it can be, or if you hang out in person, which I still see my friends, I would say every few weeks or so, maybe once a month. So I still do see friends, we still get together and go out to eat or watch a wrestling pay-per-view or something, or a movie. So it still happens. It just, you can see where it's going. I have friends from high school and stuff that I see maybe once every couple of years or whatever. Then you take that into account. So there's this sort of distance between everyone. Then you take into account kids. And they're not just having kids and being busy, but kids now are growing up like this. So there's this disassociation with, being able to hold a conversation. There's all these kids out there. This is just my opinion. I know this may ruffle a few feathers. There's all these kids out there that are labeled different things. He's got autism. He's got Asperger's. He's got OCD. He's got ADD. He's got ADHD. He's got this. He's got that. And I'm not denouncing that these things exist. But there's also kids that grew up with the internet, unlike me. I mean, I grew up while I was a teenager with the internet, but I still went out and played basketball. Still went out and did things. I don't as much anymore because I'm working, but I do some stuff still. Where these kids are growing up behind a computer screen and behind a television screen, and everything is kind of at their fingertips. There's almost no need to go out and interact with people in the real world. You do start to get like stir crazy, or at least I notice I start to get stir crazy if after a couple days I'm not talking to people, seeing people, kissing my wife or holding my wife, or maybe she's, not that she takes a trip without me, she doesn't, but like if she's at work and our schedules are conflicting and I don't really see her much for a day and a half, you could sort of tell, you could feel it. Just human nature. So I can only imagine, just want to make sure this is in there, I can only imagine how these kids are growing up, labeled all these different things, and they lack social skills. And I've touched upon this before in my videos, where they really lack social skills. They don't know how to carry conversations, open conversations, ask people out, if they're interested in a guy or a girl and they want to go out on a date. So there's all that. And the other thing is, with this disassociation from people physically comes the keyboard warriors. You're on the internet and you disagree with me about a video game. It's a video game, who gives a crap? It's a hobby. And I said this to Dean yesterday, if he likes racing games. I'm not a big racing fan. He likes PlayStation primarily. I like Xbox primarily. Who cares? We're grown men talking about video games. It's fun. It's a hobby. He may say to me, you know, Mike, I know you like Xbox. This game looks really good. Hey, Dean, I know you like racing games. Have you checked out Test Drive Unlimited? I really love that one, and I do. So it's just, it's a hobby, you know. I'm not telling people to go F themselves or hope they die or whatever, but people online tend to do that more often, especially with small things. Video games, movies. Dean's example was that in terms of Star Wars, he won't watch any of the ones after George Lucas left the picture, and that's his prerogative. I don't like Star Wars at all, personally. I like The Matrix more. I like The Road Warrior way more. I like, you know, other science fiction films more. You know, and if someone were to get offended because I don't like Star Wars, it's just juvenile, you know? So people have gotten offended with him because he won't give the new ones a chance. And is he a little closed-minded? Maybe a little. But he's already knows he's probably not going to like them, because when someone new is at the helm, the theme and the direction of the film changes. You know, you can get as close to it as you want, but it's going to feel a little different. You have to at least admit that. And he knows what he likes. He's not 10 or 15 or 20. He's, almost 50 or in his early 50s, I think. I think he's in his early 50s. Yeah, I think he's in his early 50s or mid-50s. So he knows, you know, he's not a spring chicken. He's not someone just encountering something for the first time. And that's his opinion. So I just find all of this to have a correlation. You know, kids being kind of distant and cold, being completely inept at holding conversations in person. You know, everything is behind a computer screen. That's where they feel most comfortable. That's how they reach out to people. That's how they talk. They don't meet up at night to go to a movie. They meet up online to, you know, talk or text or chat, or I don't think chat rooms are really much of a thing anymore. But, you know, Facebook Messenger is, or whatever else. And I think it's as good as computers are, and as interesting as they are. I mean, hell, we're doing it right now. It's also not good. And I think you have to know where that line is, where to draw it. When it's time to say, you know what, I don't want to sit around all day on the computer talking to people. Let me go out and do something. Once in a while, when I was either with my past wife or single, I would go out just alone, see a movie, get a cup of coffee, and just sit at a diner, read a book. People watch, and you need that sometimes. You just need some sort of human interaction. You need to at least see other human beings in front of you, as opposed to on a screen. And I just think it all ties in. I think the way kids are raised, the disassociation people have, they've now become so cold that if they disagree with you about anything, like I said, video games, movies, hobbies, don't even get me into politics. If someone disagrees with you on politics, on Facebook, on Twitter, they will literally tell you to go kill yourself. Like, I've never met anyone in life that has said to me, I don't agree with your politics, I hope you die. Because most people, A, don't have the balls to do that, but they also, it's just not, it's not normal behavior. It's not something, you may, you know, not be as warm towards someone, you maybe think they're a bit of an asshole, or they're, you know, they differ with you so much, or whatever. I have friends who are all different walks of life and all different politics. I'm a little more on the conservative side of the spectrum, maybe a little libertarian in certain ways. I have friends that are from other countries that are all different things. You know, some people that are very, very liberal. I have friends here in New York that are very, very liberal, obviously, New York. And I can joke back and forth with them. We joke around and make fun of each other. We move on. We're still friends. It doesn't take away from our friendships. But I'm seeing more and more of these people online that you think you know a little bit, or you have, you know, things in common with, usually from YouTube in my instance, that just flip out over anything. They will take anything that they don't agree with and literally not literally, figuratively put a gun up to your head verbally, you know, and say, that's it. Defriend you, block you, call you, you know. And that's the other thing I've noticed. This happened the other day to me. in work, actually. There's people now that are really more open to label people. And Dean touched upon this too. This was a great topic. They're very quick to judge and label you. It used to be you could judge a book by its cover, you won't say anything, and then you get to know them, and you could be right, you could be wrong. You could see someone and go, wow, that person looks a little trashy. You meet them, and they're like wonderful and great, and you go, you know what, I had the wrong opinion about them. Or, damn, they really are trashy, look at them. You know, they did this and they did that, and they don't have any morals, and blah, blah, blah. It really depends. Now, people throw out labels like it's nothing. I've seen people call me everything under the sun because I don't agree with them on something. Racist, homophobic. I can't. The other day, I can't really say where, but the other day I was told that me and a certain group of people that I'm closely associated with in life commit genocide to a certain culture from America with what we do. Genocide. Now, if I was in a gang and I was going around murdering people, or in the mob, or some kind of white supremacist, neo-Nazi, Black Lives Matter, angry, fighting people, and you would call me, even then, I don't know if I'd use the word genocide. I was, floored. I've been told that I attribute to slavery in America, and I've been told the craziest things, and I pretty much keep to myself. It's me, I go to work, I hang out with my wife, once in a while I'll make time and I'll see friends, from high school, or my friends Brian, Timmy, Rich, all these people that I've spoken about before, that, some have even, I think, talked a little bit on my videos. So there's all this, but I attribute to all these negative things. I think it just, people feel, as Dean said, and I recommend you watch his video, that if you label someone, you start to negate them. You put them in such a light that their opinion no longer matters. So I have no problem talking to people about their opinions. There's certain friends I've flat out said, I know I can talk to you about your opinion on X, and we completely differ. I know we will, out of the gate. We may be similar on some, but we also completely differ on others, and I know that. And it is fine. We can talk, we can be rational, we can go, okay, I kind of get where you're coming from, or I don't agree with that, but all right, I see what you mean, and then move on and still be friends. Most people can't do that, and most people, it also depends on what kind of political spectrum I've noticed as well. Some people can on certain sides, some people can't, and I find that very, very strange, because in the end, everyone's a human being, and we gotta kind of work together and get along as best as possible to make things function. But there's so many different directions people are pulling in now, and labeling someone a racist, like I was telling you, I commit genocide and I'm a racist. That's what I was told. Puts me in such a light that those people, they don't care if I live or die. They have labeled me, someone who commits, and I was floored, but then later I had to kind of joke about it, because that's how I get past things. Because if I were to actually think for a moment that I am a cause of all this negativity of racism and genocide and slavery and segregation, that was the other word they used, that it's just baffling. It's baffling that people would even think like that or speak like that. So get out there a little bit, see your friends a little more often in person. As I said, I usually see mine about once a month. I just, the other night, hung out with my friend Brian on Saturday. We watched a little TV, a little movie. Get out from behind the computer. As great as it is to be able to do this and talk to people, and this has filled a void in my life where I don't see people as much as I'd like, so I'm able to communicate with you great people, which is awesome. It also puts a distance between me and everyone else. And sometimes you don't feel like going out and seeing people as much because you say, oh, I can just do it on YouTube. I can just do it on Facebook. And that's great and all. It's a good extra thing you can do. But I don't think it should really take place of everything else. The other good thing about Facebook, here's a positive about Facebook and social media, is I have friends from all over the world and acquaintances that I can talk to without leaving my couch that I normally probably wouldn't be able to talk to. So that's cool too. That's a definite positive. Some people even work from home. So yeah, I found it kind of interesting. I've been thinking about it more. I think it all really ties into one another, and people should really think before they speak, before they write especially, because if you're writing, you're not only thinking, you're not only speaking, you're not writing it down. So if you put something in a statement or on, the record, whether it be in the newspaper or article you're writing or something, a report you're writing for work or whatever, think before you speak, before you write or type. And don't, I'm guilty of it in a sense too, but try to get out there a little more. I think kids are going to be really, really behind the 8 ball because everything's behind a screen. They're going to grow up and not know how to interact with most people. There's going to be an older generation of people who are going to go, what the hell's wrong with these kids? Why can't they interact with me like a normal human being? And that's going to stunt these kids. They're going to grow up and go, how do I get a job? Or I have anxiety. I don't know how to speak to these people or to show that I'm confident in my abilities. And that's a shame because most of them are very intelligent, but they're never going to be able to show it because of being labeled something and not applying themselves and being behind a computer screen and not knowing how to interact. So, yeah, there's my 2 cents. Check out my buddy Dean over at Vinny Corleone 62. It's Escape to Gaming if you want to YouTube him. And I think you will see kind of where he was going with things. But just, I find it funny that people can be that negative and nasty over the smallest of difference of opinion online. I'm not talking about anything specific. Nothing's really happened to me. Though once I was told I was a racist because of my, I think because I disagreed with someone politically on a matter a couple of years back. We haven't really spoken since. But, yeah. So let me know what you guys think. I don't know if you think this is completely out of left field, which I guess it is. I guess the video is. But let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if you think that it's kind of a double-edged sword, being on the internet and being, having this kind of this interaction at our fingertips. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good. I did want to say one more quick thing, if you could even see me. I realize that the whole video has been extremely dark. Sorry about that. Not that you really need to see my face anyway, it's more about what I'm saying. But likes on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram and everything else have replaced the ego stroke. It's replaced the pat on the back that people get at work when it's, you did a great job on this report. Keep up the good work, Mike. You did this. Great job. It's replaced that. When you remove yourself from, other humans and you're online and you're getting 100 likes and your ego's getting stroked, it really means nothing. My friend Tom at the tattoo shop always references this. He says, yeah, I got 50 likes on something, on a tattoo I did, or whatever, 100 likes, but nobody said anything. Nobody talked to me and said, hey, I really like your black and gray, whatever. Or can you do this in black and gray? Or I'm going to stop down next week, I want to get something. Nobody says anything. There's hardly any dialogue, and that's even online. We've become so, dumbed down in ways, and now we just give a like and move on. It's like instant gratification. We see something we like it, move on. The person on the other end gets the like, gets a tiny, tiny fingertip of an ego stroke, moves on. And that's it. It's nothing. It means nothing. So then when it comes to the real world, it comes to talking to a woman or a guy or whatever the hell, whoever's watching here, whatever your sexual preference or whatever, and these people have no idea how to interact. Or, like I said, ask someone out on a date. They've removed themselves from all of it. They put their kids behind a computer at such a young age. The kids grow up with a computer. The computer is their nursemaid, or their nanny. It's not their au pair, if you will. It's not the parent anymore. And then that's what they're used to. That's their social interaction. And I think it's really going to mess people up. If it isn't already, it's going to mess people up in the future. It's just the way it is. It could be kind of depressing. It could be, it could be slightly concerning, or definitely concerning. But yeah, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I do want to have the dialogue. And people need to get out there, push themselves, more social interaction, I have friends who are uncomfortable to say to a girl, hey, we've been friends for a while, I like you, let's go out sometime. So what's the worst that's going to happen? She's either going to say no, she's going to say yes, which is great, or she's going to feel awkward and ain't going to talk to you, and then you really weren't that close friends in the first place. So, who gives a crap? But people are afraid to do that, but they'll go online and tell someone they're whatever because they disagree with them on any matter. I had a conversation recently. I don't want to make this addendum too long. I had a conversation recently where I made a joke and someone right away started attacking politics and telling me I lived in a fascist land, and then gave me the definition of fascism and how evil it is and this and that. And I was just like, we don't live in a fascist country. It's a republic. We've voted people in before, and we'll vote people in again. And I've had people on Facebook that have flat out said they will not be friends on Facebook with anyone that disagrees with them politically. They've put themselves in this bubble. And when I tried to have a conversation with them about it, they defriended me. They put themselves in this bubble with an echo chamber, and they just talk to the 20 people around them that agree, and they just keep doing that. And then that's gospel. That's it. It's what is said and what happens, and anyone outside of that bubble that disagrees is wrong. You can't be friends with them, you can't talk to them, they're evil, and then they come up with these names, and they call you the names, and then that's it. They put their children in these bubbles, and the kids now are in these bubbles with their computer, and they're interacting with their likes and their pokes and their tweets. They're really not interacting. And then they grow up and they are deemed weird or socially inept or whatever else you want to call it. And that's the society we're moving towards, guys. So everyone's very sensitive and everyone's socially inept. So again, I'm not going to do a third part, I promise. These two are going to be mushed together. It's over 20 minutes now. I just felt like it was an important thing to talk about. Not fun. Well, no, not fun. Not video game related or movie related or other topics that I'm usually into talking about online, but just kind of throwing this out there. If you would like to engage or talk, please feel free to in the comments. Make a video if you'd like. Tell me I'm a moron and you disagree. Whatever you want to do. Again, thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.